Hey, this is Joel Oney at the J Money Studio in the heart of the Buckeye State. And I want to personally welcome you to today's episode of the Steel Kings podcast with my good friends Jared Ledford and Eric Olson, better known to you as the Steel Kings. Be sure to check out jmoneyllc.com for financing solutions for your buildings. And now, let's get back to the Steel Kings podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jared and Eric. We are the Steel Kings, back with another episode coming at you. It is the 28th of March. You guys will get this sometime in April. So we're trying to get these episodes a little bit more concise, get them a little bit closer together so we can go through the busiest time of the year with you. Eric, my brother, what is going on, man?
Man, not too much. It is spring. It's 60. We're selling buildings.
That's right.
There's problems to solve.
That's right.
There's permits to acquire.
With every
trade
problem,
shows to go to.
With every problem, there's the good solution. So at the beginning of every episode, we give a shout out to our title sponsor, the good folks over at J Money. Contact Joel and Katie for your building financing needs. If you are a dealer, if you are a manufacturer, if you are a contractor, they can help you out. Contact the folks over at J Money for all your financing needs. Quick plug for the guys over at Shed Geek Marketing, partner Shannon over at Shed Geek Podcast. Those guys are moving right along too, so we appreciate their help as always. We're talking about problems. You brought it up, Eric. I want to jump right in here. We've got another special guest for you guys, and I know if you're listening to us, you've probably heard from this guy before, but I think we're going to give you a little bit more insight. The problem that we had was leads, right, Eric? It's the problem that everybody has in this industry. We need more leads, right? Is that fair?
We need leads, and we don't want to pay $20 for them.
That's right.
Yeah, no. And it's interesting. It seems like as Dayton Barnes has done its thing, it's like, okay, now we need people. Now we need a network, and now we need a back end, and now we need a website, and now we need, and it seems like all of those things have been solved. And then the pain point was, okay, now we need lead. We got everything covered. Let's get customers.
Three P's. People, process, product. Right?
That's it.
So we had the people, we had the product. We've got awesome contacts and partnership with Sheds Direct. We love those guys over there. Okay. We work a lot with the guys over at American Steel on our metal buildings. Those guys can get you helped out. Cheap plug for those guys. But we had the people and the product. We're still working on the process. I think everybody has a process. But one thing that we have always struggled with here at Dayton Barnes is we don't have enough leads. And we pay too much for them. Meta, Google, whatever else, what other social media channels, you name it. We're spending too much money. So our guest today, and I'm going to go ahead and bring him in the studio, is Jeff Huxmann. He is the founder of ShedHub. This is the guy who is multi-talented, multifaceted. He is a jack of all trades, and he masters quite a few of them too, right?
Yeah, he sure does.
So
he's the myth.
Without further ado, I'm going to bring him in. Jeff, brother, I know you've been listening to us and you got a big smile on your face today. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. And
good.
To be referred to as a myth is quite an honor.
For the longest time,
the myth revealed.
For the longest time, I sat idly by and watched as all these other dealers and manufacturers listed their inventory on ShedHub. And I kept telling Eric and a couple of our other partners at the time, I'm like, we have got to figure out how to get on ShedHub. So Jeff, I met you, I guess it's been about a year ago now almost. We met at the Shed Expo and just started talking about the industry, about things we can do to make it better. Tell us about ShedHub, man. For those who are listening that don't know, give us a 90-second overview of ShedHub.
Sure. Yeah, ShedHub started in 2020, right as the pandemic was getting a foothold in the United States and the world. And basically, I've been working on different software in the shed industry for a number of years, and we realized there is no existing marketplace for sheds on the internet. There is no version of Zillow. There's no auto trader for sheds. And so we just set out to create it. And so with the other software that I've been working on, we sort of moved that into something that we could evolve into what you see at ShedHub.com today. It's basically, we want to create an experience for the shed shopper, the consumer, and put as much inventory in front of the shed consumer as possible in one location. There's a lot of options of places to go get sheds, and what a benefit to the consumer to be able to see all the different places that you can go to find a shed on one website. When I shop for cars, I go to Auto Trader because let's say I'm looking for that one particular used car. I can search everything in my area on Auto Trader, see what's available, and see if the car I want is nearby. It's just super convenient for the consumer, and there just wasn't anything else out like that for the shed world. So that's how ShedHub got started in a nutshell.
Well, that's kind of why we brought you on here, because I think one of the things that you and I have talked about, Jeff, and Eric and I have been brainstorming this for a long time. And for those who are listening along the podcast, they know already, Eric and I are laser focused on online sales, not just steel buildings, but wood sheds, all of the above, pole barns, you name it. We want to be in that space. And I think the interesting thing about ShedHub, and for those that are listening that are metal building guys, this is a totally untapped market for metal buildings. This is something that you can start listing inventory pieces. And the major difference between a wood shed and a metal building, for those that are kind of wondering about my point of view on this, metal buildings are always built to order. You don't go to a lot and pick out a metal building and say, this is the metal building that I would like to have. You have to go through a consultation process. There's a design process. There's a lot more involved with doing a metal building than there is with doing a shed. But I think that if you are on a wood lot and you are not utilizing every single avenue to generate leads, you're doing yourself a disservice. Eric, what do you think, man? Jump in here first.
So first of all, awesome to join you, Jeff. It's been nice to get to know you. My brain thinks this is what we could, this is what we need, and then you know how to do it, and which is nice. So we speak the same language in that 1-2 kind of tandem there, which is great. So welcome to the show. I'm sure you'll be returning guests as well. As far as steel buildings is concerned, I mean, Jared's right. We are laser focused for online sales. ShedHub is an incredible tool for somebody to not, I think most dealers out there listen, if you're repping a brand, most people who have never bought a shed before need educated on that type of deal. They're not buying a brand, they're buying a idea for their backyard. They don't want to make a mistake. ShedHub is a great place to catalog many different sizes, styles, brands, where the delivery, the rates, the RTO, the financing. And so I think you said Auto Trader is a great tool where dealers post their cars that they go buy at the auction or wherever. ShedHub is a great place for dealers and manufacturers alike to just post, buy zip codes. It's incredible. Similar to Zillow, honestly, because you got, I don't think someone goes to buy a house from Coldwell Banker. I don't think they're like in love with Keller Williams or something. I think they want a 3-2 with 2 stories and a basement, and you can sort that by a lasso effect. And hey, maybe we'll get a lasso effect on ShedHub.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah. What I like,
Yes.
what I like the most about it from a consumer standpoint is it's really consumer focused. So you can get on, if you're looking for an 8x10 wood shed and you're in a certain zip code, you can search 8x10 open gable building and it'll pop up everybody's building. And it gives the customer a 1-to-1 to say, okay, dealer A has an 8x10 that's green with a Maybe it's a gambrel roof. Maybe I really want an A-frame, or maybe I really want a lofted barn, and this is just going to be an 8x10 indoor whatever. This gives you the parameters to say, hey, I want to search 20 miles. I want to search up to 500 miles. I'm willing to go as far as it takes to get the exact building that I'm looking for. And I think that from a consumer driven online standpoint, that's really what Eric and I are seeing, is that when we can get to a customer and give them exactly what they want as quickly as possible, our close rate on those is astronomically high. So from my perspective, ShedHub is a very high level tool. Jeff, tell me what you guys are doing going forward. Anything new on the horizons? Anything exciting coming up?
I think the biggest things that we're going to be launching this year is integrations with different inventory systems. So let's say you've got a WordPress website, you've got WooCommerce, and you can have a feed. Maybe you're already serving the feed over to Google or something like that, Google Shopping. You can feed it into ShedHub as well. And then your inventory is just in, you can it's in another spot, and you don't have to re-enter the same data into your own site, into ShedHub, and into other things as well. So it's just an automation that's going to be a huge time saver. So if you've got 20, 30, maybe some lots have 100 different pieces of wood inventory on their sales lot. If it's already on your website or in another inventory system, we can absorb that information quickly, and you don't have to re-enter anything. So I think we're just going to focus on that a lot in 2025 and in the coming years.
I think that is next level, right? That is really combining. So from our perspective, right, we work with a manufacturer, they give us an inventory sheet. We can then upload that, and we can already do this on ShedHub. We can upload our inventory sheet, we can automatically populate the buildings and manually upload photos. But you're talking about taking that step almost completely out of it and making it a one-to-one seamless transaction, specifically for like a manufacturer. If a manufacturer has hundreds of buildings in their inventory, they will be able to work with the team at ShedHub to accomplish a bridge or some sort of talking language between their back-end system and ShedHub. Is that where you're at with it?
Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, like these individual dealers that can upload their inventory, but you're correct. If you're a manufacturer and you service a dozen or 2 dozen or 100 or 200 different sales locations, and your inventory system already keeps track of that, there's no need to have each individual dealer go and upload their inventory into ShedHub if you don't want them to. We can get information from your back-end system, bring it into ShedHub, and keep everything updated twice a day, something like that. So as the inventory changes, it's changing live on ShedHub as well.
Hello, shed and carport industry. I'm Cord Cook, Chief Brand Strategist here at Shed Geek Marketing. Did you know that Shed Geek Marketing works with 45 shed companies and counting? And we are not slowing down in 2025. One of the neat benefits to working with Shed Geek Marketing is working with an agency as opposed to just an individual. When you work with Shed Geek Marketing, you have a team of professionals working diligently to ensure your success. From branding guidelines and brand books to websites, Google and Meta tag tracking that measures the traffic to your website and social media pages, CRM setup and full automation build-outs, lead funnel integration, and so much more. Worried about whether or not we can serve you? Don't be. Shed Geek Marketing works with manufacturers ranging from $1 million a year in sales up to $80 million a year in sales. There is no manufacturer too big or too small. Remember, marketing is an investment that should be making you money. That's why nearly 50 companies have decided to work with Shed Geek Marketing. So for more information, go to www.shedgeek.com and submit some basic information, and we'll reach out with a discovery call and patiently walk you through how we can best serve you. Thank you for your time and look forward to working with you.
And when people are paying thousands of dollars a month for marketing and SEO and all of these things, ShedHub brings to the table I think last time we talked like something over like 1.4 million SEO'd pages, something like that, Jeff. I mean, you gotta stroke that cap a little bit right now and tell us some of the metrics. Give us some of the data. Give us some of the talking points on it. Because I mean, you sold me on it, and trust me, I am no Mark. I am not an easy target at all. I am not a soft sell. People have to get me going, and I can tell you, I love the product. From a ShedHub this is not a sponsored bit. Jeff is our friend. He's become an ally for our business, but I can tell you this is no way paid sponsorship. This is absolutely coming from the heart. Eric and Jared fully endorse ShedHub. It works great, and if you use it the right way, it'll do great for you. Jeff, tell me some metrics, man. Give me some data.
Sure. So there's literally millions of pages for Google to crawl on ShedHub. But in terms of searches, like on Google search, ShedHub appears. I think we broke a record in February of just 1.7 million impressions on Google search. I think right about now for March, we're breaking that record. March is a little bit longer month, so we get a few extra days to pad the numbers a little bit there, but it's going to probably come out right around 1.7, 1.8 million impressions for March 2025. And so Google's putting a lot of weight on ShedHub. We get a new visitor about every 90 seconds or so. So every 90 seconds, there's someone new looking for a shed on ShedHub, which is pretty cool.
I see Eric smiling. Because he's.
I just took a peek at our Google console for Dayton Barnes's website, and it's rowdy. It's busy. I mean, I got on Google Analytics. I know you check the map sometimes, Jeff. And I think late last night I was doing a podcast or 2 nights ago, something else, and we had like 32 people on at once, and we're getting, we're up there. I'm not going to say the numbers, but when I looked at yours, it's just shameful. It's a child compared to seasoned adult, and you've taught me some tricks and stuff. So ShedHub, it definitely is the real deal. I'm smirking because I've seen it before.
I think the interesting thing about it from my perspective is if you're sitting there and you're a small manufacturer, small dealer, and you're sitting there thinking about it's the busy season, right? And like we Eric and I, it's funny, we keep track of like our walk-ins. We have guys at our lots that are saying, hey, I had 5 walk-ins today, I sold a shed, or hey, I had 3 metal walk-ins, I sold a metal building, whatever, right? Imagine having your brand, your product, your process, the 3 Ps we talked about. Everything can be documented on ShedHub. That's the other thing I like about it too. So Dayton Barnes obviously sells sheds direct. We have that on our ShedHub, that we are Dayton Barnes and also building selling for sheds direct. So if you're a manufacturer, you're sitting back thinking, how's this going to help me? Well, it plasters your name all over the place. I mean, it gives you credence. And if you're producing top level buildings, people buy top level buildings. We all know that. There's a buyer for every kind of type of shed and market and all that. There are people who want to buy the cheapest possible shed. There are people that want to buy the best possible shed, whether it's the difference between the upper spacing, right, or the rafters, or whatever the case may be, the building materials, whether or not it's LP or it's, whatever the case may be. But I think for me personally, what ShedHub does for Dayton Barnes is it gives us all of these new customers, all the potential for new customers all the time. You're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you have this open portal to the world that says now, Jeff said 1.8 million people, 1.8 million visits to the website in 1 month. How many walk-ins did you have this month? Ask yourself that question. Now, Jeff, you break it down by zip code. It starts to get a little bit more feathered as you get narrowed in, right? But 1.8 million.
So
I mean, I could sit here and drop a pin. I mean, it's like a mic drop for me, because I think last month we might have had 35 walk-ins. Yeah, I mean, on our website we do like 500,000 views. So, and we're doing really well with 500,000. I can't imagine what it would be if we times that 4x. I think people underestimate what we can do in an online space. And I think if you learn nothing else from the Steel Kings podcast, learn this. If you're not online, you should be. Period. The end. And we'll be the first ones to tell you that. And we know that it creates competition. We say it anyways. Competition creates it creates that if I got one and you have one and we can work on a customer together, they might be that much more likely to bid on it. What do you think about that, Eric?
If you're a wood seller and you're not selling metal and vice versa online, at least check out online advertising. ShedHub actually is, we're Jared and I are affiliated Steel Kings wise with Shed Geek, and they've got a marketing program too. So if you're not actively pursuing some sort of electronic internet-based sales program, reach out to Shannon too at Shed Geek. But we're really advertising for ShedHub here. If you're a dealer and you want extra visibility around you, this is it. Because I think if you went anywhere, I mean, we put on a VPN, Jeff and I, on a screen share the other day, and just wood shed near me. I mean, and you're just anywhere in the country. Houston, Texas is a hotbed. We was looking at that. And for some reason, if you're in the Texas area and you're looking for wood sheds, ShedHub is a great place to shop through, in my personal opinion. If you're a manufacturer and you want your inventory listed at dealerships plus just on your own, and you just want to filter those leads through the dealers or through your in-house sales team, or you want to outsource that, like ShedHub is a good program to use. We use it. We use it not only at our lots, but we use it through Sheds Direct, and traffic's picking up, and it's a great resource to even just list your inventory. A lot of dealers don't even list their inventory. They just hope somebody pulls in, and then, hey, here's our selections. Like, you might have a website, and like Jeff said, the API between WordPress or whatever HTML, or if you're doing it custom, or you've got a Squarespace website like we used to, you can display professional pictures of your sheds on your website and manage it through ShedHub. So that's also a huge benefit too. So
and track.
I just rambled for a minute, but
no, I think that's good, because getting people to understand the value proposition with ShedHub has been, talk to me about that, Jeff. I think that's probably the struggle that you've had in the past, is actually explaining it, right? I mean, really getting down to the nuts and bolts of what it can do for your business, not just a showroom, not just a digital storefront, not just lead gen. It's all of the above, and then some on top of that. And now with what you're talking about doing in 2025 with real-time plugins, real-time inventory tracking and management, you're talking about a one-stop shop for just about everything shed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess I'd sort of think of ShedHub. I'll back up a little bit. When we talk about marketing and sales, we talk about the number of touch points a customer has to have before they actually buy a building. And so I would say most people start their shopping journey for something like this on the internet, whether they're visiting Facebook, ShedHub, another shopping platform. People are starting their shopping journey online. They might not fill out a lead form on ShedHub on day one. They might drop by the lot. They might call the phone number listed on the ShedHub listing. And so you think about the number of touch points that it takes to get a customer to buy. It's what, 70, 80? There's a bunch, and it depends on which company you work for. But if you count it, it's a lot before someone buys. And so ShedHub is a way to get customers interacting with your product, even if they don't buy on the day that they visit the ShedHub website. you're just that much more visible. There's more of those touch points can be provided by ShedHub. I think that's the value that we can provide, is we're helping those people who are starting their journey online find you, whereas they might not ever find you. You know, your sales location might not be on their normal commute to work or on a normal path that they would take to really know that you're nearby. Um, I'll give you a personal experience. I mentioned Auto Trader before. I was using Auto Trader to buy a car, and uh, my path. I live in Southern Ohio, and I generally take certain highways and do my shopping in Cincinnati, and so I'm familiar with car sales lots in Cincinnati. But Auto Trader told me that my car was 2 hours north of me, in a city that I would normally never go to. And so, because of Auto Trader, this dealership got the sale, um, and it's because of the internet. And I think the same is true for ShedHub. I think, like, if you have a decent Google listing, you're going to get traffic because of the Google listing within that 30-mile radius. But I think ShedHub is going to help you find your customers outside of your 30-mile radius and bring people in from the surrounding area. I think there's a lot of value in that as well, because people are going to discover you whereas they might not have ever heard of you before.
Introducing ShedHub, your ultimate shed marketplace. Are you in the shed business and looking to connect with more buyers? Look no farther than ShedHub. ShedHub is a game-changing, two-sided marketplace that brings shed sellers and buyers together in one easy-to-use platform. Think of it as the Amazon of sheds. ShedHub isn't just any ordinary marketplace. It's a powerhouse that ranks on the first page of Google's search results in 91% of U.S. cities. With over 1.2 million impressions on our website last month alone, ShedHub is where you want to be to showcase your sheds to a wider audience. And here's the best part. For a limited time, you can join our exclusive Next 500 plan for just $39 per month. Simply head over to geek.shedhub.com to sign up and start attracting more shoppers to your shed listings. As the Shed Geek, I am here to endorse ShedHub and invite you to join me on this journey to boost your shed business. Whether you're struggling with website visibility or simply want more eyes on your product, ShedHub has got you covered. Don't miss out on this opportunity to supercharge your shed sales. Visit geek.shedhub.com today and make your mark in the shed industry with ShedHub.
Well, check this out. Another benefit of that is, okay, let's say a customer is on, maybe they're on the hunt and they're not on the path, like you said, and they're looking for, let's say, a chicken coop or something, and so they find a chicken coop, and then on ShedHub they click on the coop, they figure out where the business has got the particular unit they're looking for. I mean, but let's say that business does metal buildings, landscaping, and whatever. Like, so now there's even further exposure too. It's not about the chicken. Like, oh, I didn't know that place was there. They end up going there. Maybe they become a customer for some other things as well. And so with the SEO, it's almost like another, like you said, you want Google listing. If you have a good Google listing and you have a website and it's well thought out, maybe put together with your own personal branding, it's not just thrown together. People like that stuff. They're going to want to come check out your business anyway. And if you're not just selling sheds, like maybe you've got some carports or something, now they're being led to some other areas that you wouldn't get without it. So I think it's even deeper than just cars. You're pretty pinpointed on just cars, but with sheds,
I can't stress enough how integral it's become to our process. right? So for us, we obviously have a relationship with Jeff. That's obvious. We're obviously already doing some of the things that we're talking about, right? So a peek behind the curtain would say, a lot of what Jeff's talking about doesn't just exist, it's happening right now. And I can tell you it is a absolute game changer when you can have someone visit a website that gets 1.8 million knocks at the door in a month, and they knock on your door and it pops up in your CRM. Like, let me stress that to you, Mr. Dealer, Mr. Manufacturer. It is a totally new world when you get knocks at the door from ShedHub all over the state that you service, all over your service area, because at the end of the day, that is what's going to sell buildings. Dayton Barnes has a location in Urbana, we have a location in Troy, and we have a location in Brookville. Okay. And we service a 50 to a 75 mile square or circle, however you want to do that. We sell more buildings outside that circle than we ever do inside that circle. And a lot of that has to do with we are aggressive. We have a good website. We have good SEO on our own. We have really good, we're A+ Better Business Bureau rated. All of these things that you look at in a business, right? What I'm telling you is that if you're dealing sheds and you're not using ShedHub, you're making a grave mistake, because there's people in your backyard who are doing it. Even on the current platform, it works really well, and it's cheap. It's like a pittance, like $50 a month for this thing. You sell one building, you've paid for it. Now you're paying for it all year, and you're figuring out a way to get a potential for 1.8 million knocks at your door. If you're in a big market, you're crazy if you don't use it. Honestly, we're not in a huge market. We're in the Dayton, Ohio market. It's probably the 5th or 6th largest metro area in the state of Ohio, something like that, maybe the 3rd or 4th. But regardless, if we were in Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Toledo, Akron, if you're in any of those spots, you're nuts for not using it. And I'm just telling you, we have been in this laser as a community, as a shed community, as a steel building community, as a portable building, whatever, pole barns, you name it. We've been in this like tunnel vision for so long. Like, we have to be on Facebook. By God, we have to be on Facebook Marketplace. We have to have 8,000 buildings listed on Facebook Marketplace. Tell me what the worst day of the week is when you have to renew those posts. Dang. Does that not suck? Is that not the worst day of the week, Eric, or what? We've got our guys with a couple hundred.
I've got 100, and I'm not. My secret sauce is what I do on there, and I got a little routine.
That's
but
right.
Man, when I got 65 to renew, I'm in my mind. I'm first like, dang, when did they become available to renew? Because when they're not visible until you renew them, and so. I think hey, let me give you a pro tip. Pro tip. Side note, pro tip. If you're using Marketplace, do not renew your posts until you're ready to work. I know I've heard people, oh man, I got up in the middle. I renewed all my posts at 11 a.m. Well, guess what? At 11 p.m. when you renew your posts, they all go to the top. Meaning by 7 a.m. the next day, all of the renewed ones that have been pushed down. So like, if you really want a pro tip, do it at like 5:30 in the morning or 6 in the morning, because then they're fresh right at the top, and nobody else is posting that early, so it'll be there for longer and it'll linger at the top. That's a pro tip.
Nice.
Pro tip. Yeah, Jeff's like, I don't know anything about selling buildings.
Jeff, the inventory never expires. That's what I was getting at. I love the pro tip though, Eric.
Yeah,
the inventory never expires. The inventory's there, and we all know too.
Yeah.
We've got inventory on our lots that's been sitting there for a hot minute. Okay. If you're working with a manufacturer, if you're a dealer, this is for you, the dealer. This is the pro tip. Tell your manufacturers to stop manufacturing ugly buildings. Trust me. And I love the guys at Sheds Direct. I love them. Okay. And most of the time, the buildings look great. Everything looks fine. But I can tell you, every once in a while, we get one slip out that you wouldn't give away. They're ugly. Like, why? Are we just using paint or what? I don't. Some of these buildings show up and it's like, it's gonna sit here. It's going to be
Can
on
we
the clearance
just
in a
get some
couple
10
years.
by 16s?
Yeah.
With
Can
2
we get a couple
windows
eight-
and some
Can we
doors?
get an 8x10? Can we get an 8x10, a 10 by 12, and a 12 by 16 in tan, white, and black?
And we
Like,
do now.
for real. You know, yeah, we do now. I can tell you.
That has been my biggest complaint since I started dating. Since we started, or I started dating Barnes.
Oh man.
Our previous vendor, which I will not name, they actually did a decent job of giving me like one of everything. And you guys know, you got the picture. That picture that was sent out, that orange one. That was the first shed I sold. That was the only and will be the only orange shed that we ever put on our property. Was that
Orange? It was orange.
It was orange. I actually don't know if it was called orange. I can't.
It was a stain, and I think what they did was they put all the stains into one bucket. All the leftover stain just poured into that bucket, and it was just. I mean, honestly, that guy loved his building, and again, there's a buyer for every shed, even the ugly ones. Okay, you know, not every shed is beautiful.
God bless Brian from Vandalia.
There you go.
He wanted
it. Jeff, we're running a little bit long, so we're going to keep you into next week. But tell me, we always give the listeners something to chew on going into next week. So we're going to bring you back. I know Eric and I we talk too much sometimes, but we want to bring you back because we're running over, and I want to keep this right at the 35-minute point for our friends. Jeff, what do you want to tell people going into the busy season? Give me a 30-second why ShedHub.
I mean, we're the most visible marketplace out there for sheds. You know, lots of people use Facebook, and that works for them. But this is specific to sheds. People who come to ShedHub are specifically looking to buy a shed. So these are hot customers. When you get leads from ShedHub, it's worth it. And at the price point we've got, there's really not much to lose at all. I think you can just give it a shot, see if it works for you.
Yep. I can tell you, man, I think that was a pretty good 30-second clip. I think you even did 30 seconds there, and that was pretty much straight on the money. You guys, we're going to finish up for this week. I can't tell you enough how much we appreciate Jeff's time. He's going to hang out with us here. We're going to get some more content for next week. This is the busy season, guys. We're coming to you in probably the 3rd or 4th week of April by the time you guys see this. Be focused, be present, get to your lots, be there for your customers. I can tell you, Eric and I have gone back and forth about this over the years. You're not going to sell if you're not there. You can do all the online posting. You can do all the Facebook marketplace you want to do. You can
gotta care about it.
You got to care about it, man. And I can tell you, as an industry and we are rooting for you, absolutely rooting for you, and rooting for your success on your lots. Everybody can sell. Everybody can have a piece of this pie. We love this industry a lot. We love metal buildings and wood sheds. We eat, sleep, and breathe this business. We love coming to you guys every week, and I can't stress that enough. I've not maybe been as vocal about that as I would have liked to have been, but I can tell you, I think this is episode 7, 8, something like that. We're not going to keep detailed track of that, but I want to make sure we're coming to you guys every week with some solid information, something to chew on, something to spit out, something to action items to go out into your place of work or into your life and do something positive for yourselves. And right now, my call to action is get serious about your business if you're not. And if you're already serious about your business, do something good for somebody else. Do something special for a friend or neighbor. It'll make you feel good. We're going to be in the Easter season before too long too. And, happy holidays and happy Easter to everybody as well. Eric, you got anything before we tie it up, brother?
I don't. I'm going to give another pro tip. I think I might do a new pro tip per episode.
Pro tip us on the way out, man.
Pro tip us on the way out. If you pro tip number 2. So I get pro tip number 1. Pro tip number 2 is if you reverse the picture, if you just flip the picture, you can do the same picture 2 times. Pro tip, because if you love a building so much, you're like, man, I wish I could post that 10 different ways. You can just mirror it. Adios.
Just mirror the picture and post it again. All right, guys. I'm Eric. I'm Jared. He's Eric. That's Jeff. All right. So we're cashing out.
It's Friday,
for this time.
baby.
Yeah, it's Friday, man. We're staying busy. I'm Jared. He's Eric. That's Jeff from ShedHub. We are the Steel Kings. Check us out next week, and we'll see you next time, guys. Later on. Peace.
Go Red Legs.
Hey, this is Katie with the J Money team. We wanted to wish you and your family a happy Easter week. Hope all is well.